Hey!
Yay,
It
we're
says we're
live.
live. Yay.
We figured it
Okay.
out.
I hope. Let's see here. There we go.
If you're listening, welcome. This is a
Sorry.
this is a Q&A session. Just kind of let you guys know what we have planned for you for the National Championship coming up in June. A little less than 6 months out now.
Yeah, we're going to give it a second here for people to join and also for me to post this in the event page because that's where we had planned to go live. But in true Facebook fashion, it will not give me that option from the event now. So bear with us for a moment. Justin, tell the fine people a funny joke.
All right. The only funny joke I can think of is, I don't know how old everybody is, but does anybody remember this?
No, do not. That is not a funny joke. Hey, Eric's on. Can you hear us, Eric?
Does anybody remember the theme song to that cartoon called DuckTales? How do I play this?
I don't know. It's broken.
I'm not
Let's
good
move
with
on.
technology. Here we go.
You're going to get it.
It's a duck bird.
I can't handle it. Hey!
Woo! All right, I'll stop it.
Huey, thank you. All right, that's enough of that.
That was my joke.
Hey! Can you guys hear us okay? I haven't seen anyone say yes yet, so.
I'm assuming they can.
Okay, let's hope so. Someone would have said otherwise. Okay, so we are here tonight to talk all about Nationals 2024. I want to know what all your burning questions are. We'll tell you a little bit about some of the things that we have planned, and I want to know what you guys want to know about so that we can create an FAQ that we can post then in the event page so people know. For example, some of the questions I've been getting most recently are about the selection criteria. That's actually determined by the NRL22. So Dominic and Levi would be really good resources for that. I do know this much. We have 264 competition spots available. Per the rules for this year, 27 of those will go to international competitors. And then the remaining spots will be divided equally amongst the monthly and the NRL22X series. So, and I heard from Dominic recently, I don't know if Dom is on or if he's able to make it on, but he mentioned that they are going to determine how many spots per class soon here, and they will announce that once they know. So, more details to come on those things. Other important things that I think a lot of people want to know about. If you haven't already looked at the accommodations post, you have to call for the room blocks. So if you're going to stay at a hotel in town, Jason, is Jason on here? Jason Shaw. You have to actually call. You can't book them online. If you try to book online, it's going to say it's full. That's because they reserve the rooms for us. So if you want to stay at any of those hotels, they are a discounted rate. If you're camping on site at the range facility, we are going to have people register for camping spots, and I'm going to have you do that through Practice Score. So I will post a link for camping spots through Practice Score. Another new thing that we're going to do is I'm going to ask spectators to pre-purchase meals. So if you don't want to eat as a spectator, totally fine. But if you're planning on attending the match and you're not an RO or a competitor, I want to know in advance, and then we'll have you purchase your meal in advance so that we make sure we have enough food for everyone. So the hope is that we can plan accordingly, and I don't have to tell anyone that's at the event, no, I don't have food for you. So if you guys can sign up in advance, perfect. We can plan. We'll make sure we have plenty of food for everyone. So what else am I forgetting? You want to talk about Friday?
Should we just do kind of a rough timeline of events?
Sure. And poor Justin here got the SHOT Show gunk, so.
Yeah. It's kind of clearing up a little bit, but I still got some sinus junk going on. But yeah, rough timeline of events. So everything will start on Thursday. The people that will be there on Thursday will be the range officers and the vendors that are there setting up tents, as well as shooting the match. So there will be a match for the range officers to shoot and the vendors to shoot on Thursday.
And on that note, because a lot of people have been reaching out about being a range officer, we already have 58 confirmed range officers, which is so awesome. We didn't even really advertise it at all. I just opened up registration and we did send it to some of our previous ROs. But yeah, it's been a little overwhelming how many people proactively reached out to ask to RO, and we just filled up really fast. So there is a wait list. I can post the practice score link for the wait list, but I just want people to have a heads up. We've just had like crazy numbers of people interested in being range officers, so we are pretty well full. But like Justin's going to get to here, we have a pretty fun timeline of events, so I think that people should plan to come as spectators.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time.
So yeah, again, Thursday will be the match for the range officers and the vendors. We'll probably just select like 12 of the 22 stages. Yeah. Probably 11 or 12 of the 22 stages. That will be their match. If they want to be competitive, they can be very competitive. We're going to treat it like a match. There will be squads and practice scoring for them. And then at the end of that day, they will eat and they will have their awards ceremony. So we will have a separate prize table for them, and we can kind of get all that stuff taken care of on Thursday. And again, it also gives the vendors a chance to set up. We'll be doing vendor tents in kind of like an industry area for Friday. Anything else about Thursday?
We're going to do the whole banquet and everything for the ROs and everything on Thursday. So when it comes to the banquet on Sunday, the ROs are kind of already going to have had their awards. We'll highlight the, top 3 competitors and things like that and some fun stuff. But the ROs will take a little bit of a break finally.
On Friday?
On Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, yeah. So then that brings us to Friday. So Friday is the day that all the competitors will be showing up to sign in, to get their shooter packets, and then we have a really fun day planned. So, I mean, it's kind of no different than any other match you've been to. Friday is a day for shooting. There will be side stages and some vendor tents, but our goal is to really blow it up. So we want to have a carnival theme on Friday. So the range that we're having this match at is called Coyland Creek. It's in Wisconsin, and it's actually a sporting clays range. It's a really cool facility. They've had big tournaments there where they have like 400 shooters. With sporting clays, there's more like relays, so they've never had like a surge of that many shooters, but they have a really good facility where they can support a lot of people. They also have kind of like a little beer garden area where they have a stage and they have live music that plays every Friday night. So we're going to be using that. We're going to have live music playing on Friday. We're going to have like a carnival festival kind of theme going on. So we'll have that. We'll have food trucks, ice cream, cotton candy, music playing, food. And then we'll also have our side stages with our industry vendor, I guess, what do we call it? The mini expo.
Mini expo, yeah. So basically an expo booths, products, things for you guys to see and try out. Hopefully things that you can purchase if you're in the market for anything. Real quick, Nathan asked, will there be a charge for zeroing on Friday? No, there is no charge for dope gathering or zeroing. The only charge will be the food trucks are not going to be free. So you'll have to purchase your own food on Friday, but we wanted to bring food trucks out because we didn't want you to have to leave the range unless you want to. So that you should be able to get all your food and stuff taken care of there, but that's a purchase your own food situation. And also the side stages will be for cash, or I think we're playing with the idea of being able to take cards for that. So you can buy tickets to play the side stages, but that will go to support the range officers and help offset some of those costs. Our goal is for our range officers to be covered in any way, shape, or form. So their housing fees and food, especially with almost 60 of them, it adds up really fast. So that money is going to go towards supporting the range officers.
Yes. So the
Jen wants to know if you're going to tip the waitress.
Depends if I have any cash left or not. So the side stages will all be carnival themed. So we're planning a dunk tank game where you try to hit a small target. If you hit the target, then we dunk some NRL22 celebrities. Those names to be announced. We also plan to have like a game where you try to shoot out the little red star. all these games, the way that we've done it in the past, it works really well. You pay $10 or whatever it is to play the game. And then based on how well you do in the game, you get tickets. And those tickets go into a pot, and then that pot is used to pull out winners of the prizes that are at each stage.
Yeah.
So the stages will be, linked to certain vendors that will be, it'll probably be at their tents. So we'll be, showcasing some of the products that they want to showcase, and then you can try to win those products and so on. So yeah, the third idea that we're thinking we're going to use is like a shooting gallery type stage. So again, kind of carnival theme side stages.
Yeah.
So while this is all going on, this will all be kind of in its own little area. Meanwhile, in a different location, there will be the shooting, like the dope gathering and the zeroing.
So a different location, but walking distance nearby.
Still in the same range, just not real close, probably 100 yards or so from there, or 200 yards maybe. But yeah, that'll give you a chance to get your long range dope, 300 yards or whatever the max distance for the match will be. You'll have that opportunity. You can check zero. You can walk the stages.
Yes. No, we will allow rifles in that area, obviously, zeroing and dope gathering and stuff, but no rifles on props is our only rule. You will get your matchbook when you check in. You will get a chance to walk through the stage area so you can kind of plan things out. We're giving everyone so much heads up. I think you should all plan to be there on Friday as early as possible. So maybe come in Thursday if you can. But we, want to make sure it's even for everyone, but you all know now so you can plan accordingly to be there as long as you need to be to plan for the stages. It's not, none of them are a secret. You can touch the props. You just can't use a rifle on the props at all. So no, just yourself.
Yep, and we'll have range officers that are running the zero range and in that area because, they will have already shot their match on Thursday, so some of them will be available to be running things like that.
Yeah, and I saw a comment come in too about some of the menus. So here's what you guys can expect from us at the match. Friday, you're on your own for food. When you check in, you will get some snacks. We like to put snacks in everybody's shooter packet so that you don't starve to death during the match. Hopefully we get a sponsor for that. TBD, I'll announce that if it happens. Otherwise, you guys will not go hungry. On Saturday, you're on your own for breakfast. We'll feed you lunch. And Saturday night, Manners Composite Stocks has paid for food to be served. So the plan is to have people cooking the food towards the end of the day so that when you finish off your last stage, you can go put your stuff away, wash your hands, whatever you want to do. Come over, get your food, hang out and chat. Curtis Custom is paying for beer kegs that night and root beer kegs for those underage or who don't partake. So there will be beer and root beer and plenty of water and barbecue that night. So I will post the official menu when we get that nailed down. It's not quite decided yet. Saturday during the day, you'll get lunch served to you at your stages. That's being provided by Bushnell. They're also providing your food on Sunday for the lunch. So Bushnell's covering lunch Saturday, Sunday. Saturday evening, Manners and Curtis Custom are providing beer and food. And then Sunday night, obviously, is the banquet. We'll have a buffet style lunch, dinner. The goal, again, is to have the food starting to be done in waves so that when you come off the stage, you can go eat, you can sit down, you can chat, you can decompress however you want, but the food will be available right away. And then you can sit down and chit chat. And that way, when everybody's done and we're compiling scores, people have that opportunity to do your visiting. The banquet's going to be right on site, so you're not going to have to drive anywhere. So in that case, we'll kind of announce when we're going to start the banquet and the awards and things like that. And hopefully people have had a chance to eat and they've had a chance to visit a little bit before we get into that stuff. There will also be root beer floats. Thank you, Bushnell.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool. Like I said, it's a sporting clays range, but they also have an event, or what do you call it, like a big hall, or it's a tent that has, sides that can pull up. But they host weddings there, so it should be a pretty nice place. It's really nice because we don't have to leave to go to the banquet. So some of these things will be kind of like a refreshing change from what we've seen at some matches in the past.
Yeah, and we will have water available all weekend. I've seen a couple, questions about that come in. Friday all day, there'll be water Saturday, water Sunday. We're going to have some at every stage. And then Bucked Up, an energy company, is also sponsoring with some of their beverages. So we'll have some of those scattered throughout the stages too, for those of you who are addicted to caffeine like I am.
So it'll go like this. The RO will say, shooter, slam an entire energy drink, and then are you ready, stand by, and engage. And then it's your job not to be shaky.
Exactly. Justin does not recommend energy drinks on match day, but
No,
some
don't
of
do
you
it.
I know can't help it.
Drink them when the match is over and then just party.
Yep. I know someone's going to ask too, because I bring it up all the time. Yes, there will be plenty of bathrooms and toilet paper. So we have so many amazing volunteers that we're going to have some people checking on those things throughout the day to make sure that we don't fall down on the job. So we want you guys to be really well taken care of.
And again, this place has hosted, large events. So they're, we've talked to them. We've kind of said like, yeah, and we're going to do our best to like keep the coolers full. And they keep saying like, oh, we do that. We do that every time. So they have, this is, again, it's a sporting clays range. So there's kind of like a path and there's like the stations that they shoot clays from. The match will kind of be following that path. We won't exactly be, shooting from it, but it's kind of that format. So yeah, they have golf carts, so we should have no trouble keeping the coolers stocked, keeping the garbages emptied during lunchtime. Hopefully it's going to go really well. We feel pretty good about it.
Some other things that are a little bit different maybe about this match than some of the ones we've been to. We're going to have a line for spectators. So it's not going to be super intrusive or anything, but we're going to ask anyone who's not a range officer or a shooter to stay behind a particular area, just to make sure that our shooters have enough space and that we can keep everyone safe, and not get a little too crowded, because the pathway, could become congested depending on the number of people we have there to spectate. There should be plenty of shade for the shooters and the ROs, and then the pathway is actually in the woods, so that should be plenty shaded for our spectators as well.
Yep. Hopefully there's not a lot of mosquitoes. It sounds like they spray every year, so we'll be making sure that gets done, but that just might be one of those things that might not be a bad idea to have some bug spray with you. Like Ruth said, there's plenty of shade because there's a lot of trees that we're going to be around, but we still might be in an area that's got a lot of sun, so bring some sunscreen. We should have tents in those areas too to keep you shaded. So
yeah. What else do you guys have for questions?
So we're planning on a minute 45 part-time for every stage. Yep. Other than that, it should be pretty conventional. If you've shot any big matches before, we're not going to be deviating much from that format. We're going to try to make it awesome and do everything else really well, but we want to keep it fairly straightforward so that people know what to expect and they know what to train for.
Yep. It's not, there's not going to be a whole lot of gotcha situations. People are going to play this back now and be like, hey, this is a gotcha. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we are going to try to make sure that in the course of fire, things are clear, because we don't want people to misinterpret the stage and then, have a whoopsie that way. That's not the goal.
Targets should be marked with a number next to each target so that it's really clear.
Limiting gear. We don't currently have plans to fully limit gear. It'll probably be a stage by stage, but we don't like to do that unless there's a specific reason for it. So most of our matches, it's a choose your own adventure type design. So it probably makes more sense for you to shoot support side, but you could probably force it strong side, that kind of thing. We do have a tendency though to require going strong and support side. So that was a terrible example, but
yeah, I mean that's kind of the goal that we strive for, is to do what Ruth said, where there's never going to be, like, the goal would be there's never any gear restrictions, but we kind of keep all that in mind so that when we design the stage, it's not super obvious, or there's not a huge advantage to using like tripod rear support, for example.
Yeah. So if it's like you're going to clean the stage if you use tripod rear support and you know what you're doing, versus get a 0 if you don't, that's not the goal.
Yeah.
It looks like total round count estimate. Okay, so 20 or 22 stages. 22 stages. We're gonna try to do 12 on the first day and 10 on the next day, which is, I think Hannah asked. And then the round count, you're better at mathing than me, so math it out.
It's probably 10 rounds per stage on average.
Average. There might be a couple that are more. So plus your sight in, and so I would say maybe one or two stages will have up to 20 rounds.
This is 22, so you're not wondering how many rounds to bring. You're wondering how many bricks to bring, right?
If you bring a brick, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 12 stages on day 1, and then 10 on day 2. So we're planning on starting. I forget the times. We've got a formula to calculate, to predict how long the match will take. But we expect to be done with day 1 around like 4, I think it was. And on day 2, it's like 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So it's going to be a long day of shooting on Saturday, just so everyone knows. We're going to do 12 shooters per squad. 22 squads with 12 shooters. That equals 264, right? So just know it's going to be long days. We had an overwhelming amount of interest, and the goal to really make this a huge event. I know it gets taxing because we shoot ourselves, but I think if you go in with that mindset, we're going to make sure that our ROs are keeping people going. If you guys are really efficient, this should run really well, and you should barely notice. If we have people who aren't running efficient, they're going to get a visit from me and or Justin to help them be more efficient, and then we'll keep you guys rolling.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest factor in how long a match takes is the time between shooters. So that's where that whole minute 45 thing kind of comes in. Like a big reason for doing that is because 2 minutes is nice, but if we take 15 seconds off per stage per shooter, it takes like an hour or two off the match. So if we can do little things like that, we'll have the ROs kind of keeping things going. I mean, as a shooter, it might sound kind of scary, like if we're going to be strict at keeping you going. It's actually really nice once you get in the habit of it. You get all your gear ready, you're standing there with your gun, you're on deck, you're ready to go, and things just flow really well that way.
Yeah. So we got a couple questions, ELR type stuff. So what's the longest range to expect? I think 325, was it?
Yeah, probably 300.
300-ish.
Yeah.
Not too much farther than that.
Yeah, so most guns that I've ever seen shoot well inside of 300, so we're trying to get away from that super long range stuff where the wind can be a huge factor, or barrel twist rate and stability can be a factor. Another thing real quick about the match duration to keep in mind, so this match is like really close to the summer solstice, so the days are long, and we'll be kind of up north, so I think the sun doesn't set until like 9:30. So when we say the match will be over at like 3 o'clock on Sunday, I mean there's still like 5 hours of light left. So expect to maybe not get as much sleep as you would normally get.
And we did have a question about the weather as well. So here's the deal with the weather, guys. Typically, it's really beautiful in June. The third week of June is really amazing weather. It's sunny. It's like in the 80s. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. Typically, it's not crazy monsoon raining. That being said, could be 60, could be 50 degrees and raining. So you're going to want to look closer too, just because if I say now it's going to be beautiful weather, it's going to be like snowing or something stupid. But typically, summers up here are standard what people see in other areas around the country. So it's warm. It's a little bit humid sometimes. Bugs are a thing. The facility is used to that, so they tend to spray in the spring for bugs. Hopefully it won't be a major issue, but definitely bring sunscreen and bring bug spray.
There was a question about, it says 20 round stage. Will they be 5 points per impact? Yes. Another one of our goals when we're designing matches is that every stage has an equal scoring likelihood. So whatever that means, it could be 100 rounds, but the score that you walk off that stage with should be similar to your score on all the other stages. So the goal here is that every single stage is a test for you and the people that you're shooting against. Every stage is a chance for you to make up ground. Every stage is a chance for you to lose ground. So it's kind of like there's not stages where everyone's cleaning it, and if you drop 1 point, now you can never catch up. So
yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Again, very challenging to design a match perfectly like this, but that's what we strive for, and that's what we've been trying to do for the last few years here. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Shane. Shane got record-setting flooding last time he
Oh.
said it was nice weather in June. Yeah,
Nice.
no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, what else we have with it? Oh, the course of fire. We're hoping won't have any particular location that's going to be more susceptible or less susceptible to wind. So that's another thing that we factor in when we're designing our stages is if the wind picks up just for half a day one time, hopefully everybody gets equally screwed or equally lucky.
Another interesting thing about this range, so this is the very first single projectile match that this range has ever had. So it's a sporting clays range. Based on the layout, half of the match is going to be facing west and half the match will be facing east. So that's kind of one of those things that can be a big no-no for rifle shooting. But the saving grace for us, again, the days are so long that the sun rises at like 5 a.m. So by the time we actually get started shooting, the sun should be up high in the sky. And then the same thing for at night. You know, we'll be done long before the sun gets low on the horizon.
All right. We've got lots of questions about food. We have yep. Thank you, Amy. Amy answered the lunch on both days. Yes, you will get lunch on Saturday and dinner Saturday, lunch Sunday, dinner Sunday. So we've had some really amazing sponsors come out to support that. Otherwise, it would not be financially possible. So please, 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 when we're doing the sponsor posts, reach out, say thank you, blow them up, just so that we get more of the support in the future too.
The goal here is that if you want to eat a lot, you should be able to eat a lot.
Yes.
You shouldn't go hungry.
Yep.
There's enough money there, and we plan on spending it to make sure that everybody's satisfied.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we have some exciting stuff planned.
So should we tell them about the theme?
Does anyone want to know what the theme is?
There's a theme to the match.
Natural barricades are a plethora of built props. Primarily a plethora of built and not so natural props, Jeremy, like vehicles, things like that. We don't have a ton of natural barricades in this area on the firing line. We could drag some branches out and things like that. We haven't determined that fully yet, but primarily you're going to see built stuff or man-made items.
So Amy and Mitch Tromberg live near the range, and they offered to not shoot the match, but to help us with the match, with stage design and building props. So we're going to be really thankful for the help they're offering. Mitch is willing to build some fancy special props.
To go with our fancy special theme.
Yeah, so the theme, I think it was Mitch's idea. What is the theme, Ruth?
Must dress like a dinosaur. Sasquatch. I like the guesses. Let's keep the guesses going for another minute.
Man, some of these guesses are going to be actually cooler than our theme.
I know.
Maybe
Okay, that's a good point. All right, fine. So the theme we're going for is Midwest because we live in Minnesota. The match is going to be just across the border in Wisconsin. And so we want to bring a little bit of the Midwest experience to all of you. So, be prepared to spoon down some tater tot hot dish and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you might be shooting off of a piece of cheese, like a giant block of Swiss cheese, maybe. Or there might be some farm equipment in there. I know that's kind of not necessarily Midwest specifically, but yeah,
it's a big part of what we do.
We're going to try to keep it really fun, but at the same time, still buttoned up and professional and competitive.
Exactly. Flatland and casseroles. Shane, we have a lot of Northwood stuff too, so let's just,
Yeah, we got Paul Bunyan and stuff.
The Blizzard stage. I know, Tim, I was thinking it'd be really cool to have a stage where you start out and it's nice weather and you can be in a little kiddie pool type thing and then go into fall with a bunch of leaves and then freezing cold winter and then back to flooding. But couldn't figure out logistically how to do it. Yeah, Andy, brats and beer. That's the plan for Saturday, hopefully. Free cheese.
Yes.
I'm trying to get a cheese vendor, Greg. I love cheese. I'm trying to get a cheese vendor to come out and sell cheese curds there or something so people can buy them because, it's awesome. You guys are guessing already some of our props. Not going to tell you which ones, but...
We might get some ideas here, too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, keep them coming.
Yeah.
Yes, final price. Did 295?
I think it was like 290, wasn't it?
It's 290, 295. I know we submitted it, but it's
295,
right around that
99
figure.
or something
And
like
then
that.
it's around 150 for youth. So youth will get a little bit of a break. We are planning on pouring a ton of money into this match, and we want to make sure that we have the resources we need to make it as awesome as we want it to be.
Yeah, there's kind of two schools of thought regarding match fees. So one school is like keep the fees low, try to keep the sport, like available for everybody and new shooters. And we've done that. We've gone down that path. I mean, the whole like NRL22 X series thing was kind of like based on that, $60 match fees, and things got up to like $90, but it kind of felt like there was a ceiling there. We couldn't go above 90. So like Ruth and I are hosting these X matches, and we're like trying to blow them up, or doing T-shirts, and we're like spending all this money, and we like end up with nothing at the end, and we're like, shoot, we're like starting to feel like, hey, is this even worth it? And people are like, just charge more, people will pay it. So the other school of thought is that people want to go to a really cool event, and as long as you spend the money that you charge back on them, like they will pay it. So like that's our attitude on this. Like we want to charge enough so that we can like spend a whole bunch back on the match so that everybody has an awesome time.
Yes, so we want this to really be like a destination too. Friday's going to be kid friendly. We're going to have face painting. We don't want kids in the match area just like running around or anything. We actually don't want kids just running around unattended anyway, because we're going to have side stages with live firearms, right? But kids are going to be welcome. We're going to have activities for them to do. It should be really fun and a good time for everybody. So if you want to bring the whole family out, that's the idea, is that everyone enjoys their time, and they don't feel like, oh, family's going to the match again, can't, we're just going to stay at home. The whole goal is for you to bring everybody with you and for everyone to have a great time.
Yeah, so Shooter's Mindset's going to be there. That's going to be sweet. They'll be covering the event. So maybe there'll be some video of you and you'll become famous.
Yes.
What other little Easter eggs will there be?
Yeah. Let's see. So we are going to do for shirts, we're gonna do a long sleeve hooded shirt this year.
Like a sun shirt?
Yeah, like a sun shirt. So you guys can wear those at matches in the future too. We were able to get a really, really good deal on those from one of our guys that does shirts for us. So I think we'd really like to offer that as an option, because I don't know, everyone doesn't necessarily need another t-shirt, or at least I hear that quite a bit.
That's another thing that people are split on.
Yeah, but
prize table
order. I don't know if I want to tackle that.
Talking about it?
Yeah, okay,
Let's just put it this way. We're going to try to reward placement.
Yes.
As well as sprinkle in some random draws.
And representation from every class. So, making sure top youth, top ladies, they also get to walk the prize table, and then sprinkling in like the next highest and all that stuff.
So that prize table walk order will be shown when you register for the match.
Yes.
So that if you read that and you don't like it, you don't have to register for the match.
Correct. Yep. But we highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be in there. It's a little bit confusing, hard to explain because of the way that everything is out. So it's like the top shooters in each class normally walk the table like first, second, third. We're going to do it where this group of people walks in order of how they finished. So if a youth takes first place, the youth is walking first. That's just, our way of trying to honor that, but still get people in from the other classes and things like that. So read it, make sure you guys understand it. If you have questions, reach out. It's just really hard to like verbally explain, I feel like. So
yeah, prize table walk order is like one of those things that it feels like we're never going to be done trying to make it perfect. I mean, in an ideal world, there'd be some like AI algorithm that takes into account, like balancing out all the classes with still rewarding like performance and comparing them to each other, and like it gets really complicated. And we will actually be using an Excel spreadsheet where we'll have the Excel spreadsheet created in advance, and then we'll just take the practice scores, copy them, drop them in, and then it'll sort them based on that order that we talked about.
Nathan, that information will be posted to the NRL website, I believe, soon because they're going to update the Nationals page. I will try to remember to post it in the event page on Facebook when it does so that people can read, a summarized version of all this stuff. Should be relatively soon. And Hannah had a question about classification wins being recognized. I believe that's the plan, but those things, and ultimately NRL22 has, the right to determine how those things play out with the prize table. I will say this. I've already spent almost 100 hours on the prize table. I don't think anyone's going to walk away disappointed. Our sponsors have been amazing this year. I think the prizes that we have on hand are over 100 already. My goal is for everybody, including range officers and every single shooter from top to bottom, to have at least a $40 or more prize pack to take home. So, I'm putting a lot of effort into that, and hopefully you guys see that at the event as well. A video being produced like years prior. So we have a few things going on, Jeremy, with that. That's a good question for either Dom, Levi, or Ty in terms of whether there's going to be a video released by NRL22. I would love to see that again. I know they took some footage last year, or maybe they just did still photos. We're going to have 2 roaming range officer photographers that'll just be taking still photos. We'll have 2 of them, plus I'll bring my camera and see how much time I can figure out. If I do planning well enough, I'll be out there too. And maybe I can get some footage as well. We're looking at some media companies to get some video highlight footage just for our own page to go out. But typically NRL22 does that through their media company. The Shooter's Mindset is going to be there, and they're going to do live coverage. Bushnell has talked to us about wanting to maybe set something up for Friday, possibly during the match. But I'm not 100% on what that looks like yet. So I would love to see multiple highlight videos go out. But we don't have any of that nailed down just yet, other than Shooter's Mindset's going to be there. Right, Greg? Jen?
He said yes.
Okay, he said yes. Good. Tree stand
stage. Nice.
All right. What else you guys got? Divisions or classifications or both? Okay, so divisions is how it's currently set up. So open, base, ladies, young gun, old gun, air rifle. Did I miss any? I think that's all of them. Those are the ones that'll be recognized for the prize table walk. I don't 100% know how the classifications are going to fit in yet, but again, we'll put that information out as soon as we have it. We need to have some discussions with the NRL just to make sure that we're aligned on how that goes. I think they're planning on having trophies at least for the classifications. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, divisions. Yeah, so the divisions is how we currently have it written up. Classifications, I believe there's going to be trophies for those, but at this point, they're not considered for the prize table walk. It's going based on divisions.
We're not quite there yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Another thing that we found out when we were at SHOT Show, we were at the Utah Air Rifles booth, and we got some bad news. It sounds like their big air rifle match, the Rocky Mountain Air Rifle Challenge, is on the same weekend as our match. So we're probably going to be missing some of the air rifle shooters. They'll be out in Utah.
Yep. So if you guys want to shoot air rifle at the finale, maybe now is a good time for you to start shooting air rifle so you can qualify as an air rifle. Yep. How many shoot? Leland, yes. We don't have that set yet. I just talked to Dom about this last night, I think. They're going to announce soon how many spots per division will be allocated. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. We got really sad about it. If it makes you feel any better, a lot of the air rifle shooters were also very upset and sad about it. So I told them they should just skip it and come to the finale with us, but we don't really have a fancy check to hand out.
Yeah, we
to the
don't have
winner.
that $25,000 check.
All right. What else you guys got? Oh, someone asked about camping reservations. Yes, I'm going to have the practice score sign up set up, and then I'm going to actually map out and number the reservation spots. So you'll get an actual number of what your campsite is and a little area that I got to figure out how to, if they let me spray paint, I'm just going to spray paint the grass. If they don't, then I'm going to have to figure out how to mark them off so that we're very clear on, where people set up, stays organized. That's the goal.
Yeah, parking will be a little bit, there'll be a little bit of a walk, not bad, but we're going to try to keep the main parking lot area open for the festivities on Friday. So there'll be, there might be vendors there, there might be food trucks parked there. So just to kind of keep everything clear, so there's plenty of room for everybody to stand and hang out. We'll have parking. We'll send out an email with a map for parking, but it'll be kind of in the driveway coming in or across the street.
Yep. Yeah.
And then we should be able to have a shuttle, probably like an ATV with a trailer or something, in case you're having to park across the street, a shuttle to kind of bring everybody in. Or you can do a thing where you just drop your gear and everybody, drop everybody off and then go park the car and one person takes the shuttle back, something like that.
Yep. And then let's see, lodging. We got that info. Okay, so I'm trying to find. John asked about how to qualify, or if there's information published on how to qualify. It's in the rules on the NRL22 website. I'm trying to find the location of those. Here we go. And it's towards the bottom, I believe, under section 4. It's under section 4. Let me send you the link. If Dom were on here, he'd be able to cite to you what number and sub number and letter and all that fun stuff.
How big will the mosquitoes be? We heard a rumor that there might be one giant mosquito that you might be shooting off of.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yay, Andrew and Jill are going to come.
Woohoo!
Yay. How big will the mosquitoes? Really big, Jeremy. Yeah.
Yep. Dope verification will be open on Friday.
Yep. People ordering air rifles, good. What else do you guys have for us? Questions, ideas, concerns.
Per the NRL rules.
That's awesome. Yes. Aw, thanks, Seth.
Seth says he's got to get back to making movers.
Best movers out there, in my opinion.
They are.
DM targets, you guys.
How cool would it be to have that plinking side stage with a bunch of movers?
Official target sponsor of the match. So we are going to be using primarily our own targets. So we designed a rimfire specific target package this year and released it last summer, kind of a soft launch. So we're going to be leveraging our targets and target stands. If you guys want to see what those look like, there's a little video out on YouTube that kind of shows you how the targets move. They shouldn't be a lot of side to side stuff. It should be primarily front to back.
Yeah, the goal is there for the target reaction to be consistent, so that every shooter has the same experience. For a more,
yeah, make it a little easier for the ROs to spot hits and misses. Hopefully, that's the idea.
Regarding target size, if you go to our website and look at our targets, there's also some resources. What is it, like downloads or something? And there's the target size chart.
Target size chart, yeah. It's also included in the Win Target product. If you click on the Win Targets, one of the photos is like a target size chart.
So that's what we'll probably be using. So that's
Yep.
what you can expect at the match,
Yep.
those target
Yeah.
sizes.
If you want to get really into it, the Match Director Handbook that we wrote, you can read through that. That talks all about our philosophy when it comes to match design. So if you've never shot one of our matches, it might behoove you to peruse that a little bit. Yes, a pterodactyl. That's
We've
awesome.
kind of looked at some of our previous matches. We look at the scores and try to like analyze the scores or whatever. what our scoring kind of tends to end up like is kind of like when they would grade on a curve in college. So it like forces somebody into the top and it forces somebody at the bottom. So it kind of looks like a line. You don't get like a pile up of a whole bunch of people that all get the same score and dropping off from there. So Mitch and Amy are really good at match design as well. So they're going to be helping us out with that. So the goal isn't for it to be painful, but we still want it to be fair and competitive at the same time. So we're always trying to get the perfect balance.
Yep. Yes, we keep striving for that perfection thing. Shane wants to know about side-by-sides. No side-by-sides. Golf carts are going to be okay. It is friendly for that, but it's really not that far to walk. Carts are fine. We just don't want a lot of the side-by-side noise because it's rimfire. So a lot of people, we want to keep it not disruptive. Yeah, consistent, not disruptive. Meg extensions, Meg extensions will be allowed. If there's any Meg change required, that'll be a stage-by-stage requirement.
Are we going to be requiring the empty chamber indicators? We need to talk about that. We'll put that in the description before you register.
We're going to do another video too about safety rules specifically. We have some very particular safety rules that are going to be really important and enforced. So we've seen a lot on, the day before the match. You haven't gotten the safety brief yet. So people get a little loosey-goosey sometimes with safety. We're going to make everyone sign the safety rules prior to sight-in. So no one will be allowed to have a rifle unless you have a colored bracelet on, which you will only get after you sign in. When you sign in, you're going to have to sign the safety sheet rules. If you flag somebody, it is a match DQ. Doesn't matter if it's you or somebody else. We'll do a whole separate video on those particular rules, and then we'll make a determination about chamber flags, empty chamber indicators, and things like that, which we'll cover in that video later.
So the RO list is full. We've got a practice score registration. So we are taking people on the wait list for ROs, but at this point we have 55 or something?
58 confirmed range officers, which is awesome. It's really cool. I feel bad though because so many people keep reaching out asking about it, and I can't afford to feed any more range officers is really what it is.
I think this sport is way better when you have good range officers. Yes. So the last 3 or 4 matches, we've kind of done a really good job of making sure that we take really good care of our ROs, even to the point maybe spoiling them a little bit. But the goal is to try to get a bunch of people that are kind of repeat ROs that want to come to our matches and do a good job. Mm-hmm. And the goal, again, is just for consistent, fair competition that's safe.
And just so you guys know, too, in advance, the people signing up to RO have committed to coming on Wednesday or Thursday morning at the latest, because we do a range officer training on Thursday morning, and then the range officers shoot the match on Thursday. Then they're going to take turns working a bunch of different stuff on Friday to make sure everyone's safe and following rules and has side stages stuff taken care of and registration and all that. And then they're going to work all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
And they still signed up.
So keep this in mind when you're thinking about the range officers, and please be nice to them. Please thank them for their time, because we couldn't do what we do if it weren't for the people volunteering to help us. And that includes Mitch and Amy and so many other people who are helping us in the background that you guys maybe don't know about, organizing food, getting dunk tanks reserved and food trucks committed and all that fun stuff. Hannah wants to know about the chamber indicators, in the chamber ones.
Hazen Shield. And then there's a new one that I saw pop up. So kind of one of the gripes with the old traditional empty chamber indicators is that people don't want to stick these long sticks into their chamber and scrape the carbon ring or whatever. So Hazen Shield came out with one that's just got a smaller, protrusion piece that just goes into the chamber, and it's held in place with a magnet. And then there's a new one, I forget the brand, and it doesn't use a magnet. I guess there's some concern that the magnet might, magnify your chamber, and then it could attract, iron in the dirt or something. I guess I haven't seen it being an issue, but it was just one of the concerns. But yeah, we can, when we reach out about the safety, we can talk about that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that we typically allow mag blocks One of the challenges with that is, we're going to have every RO physically inspect. And I know a lot of people say this and it just slowly doesn't happen throughout the day. No, every single RO will check your chamber when you come off the stage. So we're just kind of debating internally about mag blocks and whether those are sufficient or not. My big problem right now is a lot of these mag extenders are coming in colors. So the bright colored mag block now isn't as meaningful as being not a magazine as it used to be. So we're still discussing it.
Yeah, one of the processes we put in place that the ROs use is when they say time and they say unload and show clear, the RO actually has the tablet in their hand with your score. They get down, they say unload and show clear, they see that there's not a round in the chamber, you put your chamber flag in, and then they hold the tablet at you, and then they make you push approve. So
yes, that is the other thing that we will make you do is hit the approve button. And only if you approve it. If you don't approve your score, then don't hit approve. We just want to make sure it's really clear to you, to the range officer, everyone's on the same page. If we have a scoring discrepancy, we'll come address it right away. So make sure that, we won't have you hit approve. We'll write down the score. We'll discuss it once we get there, but, continue everybody else moving on. We'll have a process to address that. So if you have a scoring dispute, stay on that stage so that we can come sort that out right away. Yeah.
Precision Match Timer has a new ECI.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Nice.
We just got one of their timers to test out, so we'll check that out. Cool. Anything else you guys have? Burning questions?
We didn't even make it to an hour yet.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. 2 more minutes you guys have to ask us any question you want.
Try to keep them easy.
I like the hard ones. That way I get people to weigh in and hopefully they agree with me.
There you
and
go.
I can be like, see? All right. What are you most looking forward to?
I love it when the match starts and then we just get to sit back and watch it go.
That is my favorite part.
It's kind of weird because I'm antsy because I want to do something. Cause we've been doing working nonstop for a week and there's nothing left to do.
We've done nothing for several weeks but think about the match. And then once we get to the match and everyone's kind of up and running, there's a few things usually at the start that we have to do. And then after that, we just look at each other like, should we be doing something? And this is going to be 2 days. So the whole first day, there's not going to be a whole lot to do because we have to wait till the end of the second day to do the scores and craziness. So
Ruth is the better shooter. Squatting based on standings. Good question, Chris.
Not really. So the issue is right now it's one finale for both the NRL22 monthly and NRL22 X series. The league's just not at the point yet where those are becoming 2 different championships. So it would be really difficult to squad on rank because the 2 systems are kind of separate. Plus, with the NRL22, one of the really important things is getting families, ladies, youth involved, and so they highly encourage families to participate. If you're including, if you want to get families to participate, families want to squad together, etc. So it's something that we gave a lot of thought and discussion to, but we're just not there at this point.
We love that concept.
Right. Yeah. Bevan's answer.
It's probably the best way to take some of the uncontrolled variables out of the match. If the weather changes, the best way to control for that is to have squad based on rank. That way everyone in your squad kind of gets the same conditions. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about breaking the match into 2 matches and it just got really complicated from there. So just not quite there yet.
We think it's a great idea. We fully support it. It's just we're not quite ready to pull the trigger on that yet, and it's partly supporting what the league's goals are too. So right now, Jason, we're not sure if we're going to time every stage like Worlds, but we will have a tiebreaker. It will be based on time as per the rules.
Or 2.
Yep. And then Paul, it is based only on rank. So points and rank is how it'll be determined so it'll leverage the leaderboard for both the monthly series and the X series. The spots will be divided equally between the 2 series. If someone gets invited via the X series, they'll drop off the leaderboard from the monthly series, for example. So, there's going to be a lot of shuffling. There's probably quite a bit of overlap between those two leaderboards. So, maybe take a look at that. The goal is to get as much information out there as possible, as soon as possible. So again, just stay tuned. There's going to be an announcement for how many spots for each division, not class, thank you, division, soon in the next couple of weeks here. And then how analytical breakdown on how you're going to set each stage to make it fair for X and NRL22. You want us to go for another hour is what you're saying, Shane. Are we planning for snow? Yeah, Scott, just don't say the S word. It's so nice out right now in January. I've lived here for 36 years and I've never had a January like this where it's 40 degrees outside and all the snow is melted. I don't understand what's happening. All right. And then the best chips. Ooh, I really like the kettle cooked ones, Darren.
You said it's salt and vinegar. Right?
It is salt and vinegar. It's always salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar. Yep. He knows. Ask easy questions. Yeah. Okay. Well, now we're 2 minutes over and we didn't even get into the fairness of the stage. Read the match director handbook, Shane. Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in. If you have other questions, feel free to ping us or post them in the group. Hopefully I'll get an FAQ set up soon here. I should start having the practice score registration for food and for campsites set up soonish. I'm thinking before the end of February. I'll post all those to the event page once I have them set up. I just have to think through all of the questions that I have to answer, so you only have to answer them once, so I'm not emailing you later going, hey, I forgot to ask about this. So sweet 80s style onesie. Nice.
Thanks for joining, everybody. See you later.
Talk to you soon.